at the arena, and they were not happy because it was the B Squad with the B Squad device, a form of the Doomsday device.
Gotcha.
Where Steve Mack jumping off the top rope.
That's scary. just for those of you who don't know who Steve Mack is, just envision a
very agile 300.
Put it this way:
+pound man jumping off the top rope.
Yeah, basically.
With into an opponent on the shoulders of another very agile 300-pound man.
Put it this way: Kevin Steen jumping off the top rope onto another person who is Kevin Steen.
Yeah, holding Kevin Steen.
Yeah.
There you go. So B Squad picked up the win as Lucky 13. Not so lucky in that B Squad device. And the fans not happy. They were not happy. As much as they didn't want to boo the B Squad, they just were booing the fact that Nick Cage was not victorious.
It reminds me of last year's J-Cup tournament when the Down Boys got knocked off in the first round by the Spirit Squad. So.
Yep. And Nick Cage grabbed the mic and let everybody in the crowd know he wasn't happy, and even told some fans under the age of 10 that he'd beat them up, and and he said he'd beat up the parents, and even at one point he said, "I'll put you in that wheelchair like that guy," and yeah. So all in all, it was entertaining and at the same time jaw dropping because it was a benefit for the Boy Scouts.
Of course, it was a benefit for the Boy Scouts, and he's threatening to beat up 10-year-olds. I mean, that just sounds like a normal day on
CZW at its best. That's what it is right there. Match number 4. So one of my favorite tag teams, EYFBO, which away from Warriors of Wrestling, they are part of Team Pazuzu. Chris Dickinson and crew.
Chris Dickinson.
That would be Mike Drastic and the Funky Monkey Angel Ortiz. They took on the Garden State Gods, Corvus and Quest. Another really good tag team right there. And I wasn't sure really how this was going to go. You know, Corvus and Quest, kind of more the guys that have been in JCW a little longer. Yeah. EYFBO, more the newcomers.
Newer to the company, yeah.
But it was Ortiz pinning Quest, EYFBO victorious and advancing to the next round. And that's when we went into intermission. And when we came back from intermission, EYFBO opened up. So they had a quick turnaround, 15 minutes tops. And Drastic and Ortiz, they took on Style and Finesse. And I was looking forward to this match the whole time when I knew they both advanced. And EYFBO, again, victorious. It was a double suplex, both Drastic and Ortiz suplex, kind of like a double arm suplex together. And they're victorious. And if these guys have names for these moves, we're gonna have to. Yeah, we got to get names for these moves.
Not a double suplex. I mean, that's pretty generic. So
I'm just gonna have to make up my own like the monkeyplex. The funky monkeyplex.
Hit us up on Damage 365 on Facebook and help us come up with these names for some of these finishers.
Drastic Ortiz, come on, man. We follow you enough. Give us some names. Just, come on, jeez, help us out. But they were victorious. Match number 6 saw the openers, the Headhunters. They took on the Beast Squad, Kyle the Beast and Monster Mac. You want to talk a lot of humanity in the ring? Jesus. There had to be over 1,000 pounds of man in that.
Easily 4 guys in the ring, absolutely.
I mean, you got Kyle the Beast and Monster Mac are combined over 600 pounds, and the Headhunters are combined high fives.
Yeah, so you're looking at probably 11 to 1,200 pounds in the ring.
So, as Gorilla Monsoon would have said, I really hope this ring is reinforced. But it was the B Squad victorious, taking out the former ECW originals and via pin and moving on. I mean, the two big guys, out wrestling
Nick Cage and Lucky 13.
Yeah, two technical guys, and then moving on and out muscling 2 big guys.
Yeah.
So 2 different drastically different styles, and they moved on to the next round. And then we saw a little something different before we got to the championship of the J-Cup, which again was going to be B Squad versus EYFBO.
Yep.
But before we get to that, it was a title for title match. Joey Janela, the JCW heavyweight champion, took on Pinky Carlos Sanchez, the JCW Extreme champion. A very, very good match. For those who don't know Pinky, he's also part of Team Pazuzu.
Yep.
And was accompanied to the ring by Jocko, who accompanies all the Pazuzu guys to the ring. He also wrestles himself, but he did not wrestle tonight. But it was Jocko jumping into the ring after a pin attempt by Janela later in the match, where Janela would have had the match in hand, giving Janela the win via disqualification. So no titles changed hands. Janela's still JCW champ. Sanchez still Extreme champ. A match I'm sure somewhere down the road is going to happen again. And Team Pazuzu, they're going to have to be dealt with. I don't know if JCW is going to have to form their own faction, but you got Chris Dickinson, Pinky Sanchez, EYFBO, and Jocko.
Yeah.
These are not chumps, people. These are people, these are guys who hurt people.
I've seen Chris Dickinson hurt some people in the ring. I mean, we've all seen the video.
The last ride. Of Kimberly. But, I spoke to Chris Dickinson, and we tried to get him on the show right after that happened, but there was just so much going on, and he couldn't commit. But we exchanged information. We're gonna try to get him on the show later. Did give him our information to Pinky Sanchez as well at the show. So he loves anybody who knows Pinky Sanchez. He loves to talk.
Yep.
He's got his own show, and he loves to talk, and he loves wrestling, and he loves to joke around and have fun. So outside the ring, he's a good guy. Inside the ring, he's Joey Janela's problem.
Yeah, that's another character on top of a character.
Janela victorious via disqualification. So no titles changed hands. We get to our main event of the evening, and it was Kyle the Beast and Monster Mac, the Beast Squad, taking on Drastic and Ortiz of EYFBO and Team Pazuzu for the 2015 J-Cup Tag Team Tournament. And this is a match that went back and forth, and got to see, anybody who didn't know Kyle the Beast got to know Kyle the Beast. A very, very agile, and at times high-flying 300-pound man. And those who did not know him prior know him now. And if you're not impressed what Kyle the Beast gives you in the ring on a nightly basis, then you are not a real fan of wrestling. I'm not even going to say indie wrestling. I'm just going to say wrestling. Because this guy, and we've seen him from his early days of UWA Elite to Superstars to JCW, On Point, and even a couple weeks ago he made his Warriors of Wrestling debut, where even Joe Bellini himself was impressed with Kyle the Beast and the unbelievable repertoire this big guy has.
There's not many big guys who can move like he can. It's just it's impossible for. It seems physically impossible for big guys like him to move the way he does, but he's absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely, and that's why I would say like some of the greatest matches. I don't know if JCW does like the match of the year and stuff like that. I'm sure they do stuff like that. But one of the matches of the year for us was Joey Janela versus Kyle the Beast.
Kyle the Beast, just two guys, and I've seen other matches between those two when they were on the road. They were traveling. They were in some like middle of the country at some like outdoors somewhere, and it was just a phenomenal match where these guys literally dove from like 15 feet up in the air over fences to get to each other. It's just the matches that Janela and Kyle
I seen him in a match at Hasbrook Heights where Kyle Beast picks up Janela on the top rope, and both of them fell backwards out of the ring through a table. And I really thought Janela was dead because he was underneath Beast, and it was like, and Sergeant Jimmy Storm was the referee, and he was like waving his hands in front of Janela to make sure he was alive.
He was still breathing.
And it was actually Kyle the Beast lost consciousness for about 30 seconds. So apparently Joey Janela is a soft landing.
Joey Janela is an animal. I don't know if he has any regard for his own body.
No, not at all. I mean, we talked about him last week with the Wrestling Snobs. We talked about Steve Scott.
Yep.
And we talked about Joey Janela and how impressive they are and what they do to their body for very little.
Yeah.
But, they're maybe not getting much money put back in their pocket, but they're doing a lot to give back to the
fans,
to the sport, the business, and the fans.
And it'll pay them back sooner rather than later.
I agree with that.
I mean, both those guys. I mean, Janela's been in the sport for a very long time, and he'll see big companies turn around and look at him sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, enough people know enough people that, phone calls can be made,
Exactly.
Come down and check this guy out, blah, blah, blah. And Joey Janela doesn't take days off, he doesn't go to shows and takes a day off. He was, even last night, after that whole weekend,
yep.
He was at CCW's tournament.
Yes.
He was eliminated, though, in the first round, best of the best.
Yep.
And, but, he's an animal.
They talk about Darren Young, Mr. No Days Off. Joey Janela is the new Mr. No Days Off.
He is definitely the non-corporate, non-mainstream No Days Off guy. Yeah, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, he's a monster, and he earned that. Another self-promoting guy, a guy who went out there and reached for the brass ring.
Yep. As Vinnie Mac likes to say,
but then deny. But he reached for the brass ring. He went out there. He self-promoted himself, and he whored himself out to the wrestling community where everybody knows who he is, and everybody now looks forward to seeing him on the show. And
I have friends at home who know who Joey Janela is. For friends in New York who don't go to independent shows in the Jersey
and not
area.
New York City, folks.
No.
I'm talking like East Bumblefuck, like New York.
Exactly. I'm talking
like cows and horses.
Basically,
and
I have friends who literally don't go to independent shows in New Jersey or Staten Island or anywhere who know who Joey Janela is.
And middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Kev still doesn't understand where I live.
I've been there. All I know is that I pulled off a road and I was in your driveway and then I made a right and a left, and I don't know. I somehow got back in Jersey. But at this time, we want to welcome in our guest. Apparently not. We want to welcome him in our guest of the show. What is going on?
I guess our Bluetooth doesn't want to work right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Apparently not. Well, give us a second, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to a commercial break and try to figure this problem out. So relax, stay tuned.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Friday, April 17th, 2015, join CTW Charity Wrestling as they present Fight Cystic Fibrosis live from the Days Inn Bridgewater on Route 22 East in Bridgewater, New Jersey. 100% of the proceeds from this event will go directly to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation as we help find a cure for cystic fibrosis. See WWE Hall of Famers Tito Santana and Superfly Jimmy Snuka, as well as former ECW champion Rhino, the Bad Boy Joey Janela, Too Hot Steve Scott, the Garden State Gods, Steve Monster Mac, and the return of Arcadia. Tickets are available by visiting CharityWrestling.com. That's CharityWrestling.com. Join us Friday, April 17th at the Days Inn in Bridgewater, New Jersey for CTW Charity Wrestling Fight Cystic Fibrosis.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we fixed the problem. And we are officially joined by our guest today, Amaiya Jade. Welcome to the show, Amaiya.
Yay, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. The technical